Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. This is Tyler from the Unemployed Architects. This week I'm going to be talking about my shows in LeRoy at a place called Houdinis Spirits. That was Friday. Saturday I played early morning at the Bloomington Farmers Market, and then I had a show at nighttime at Cadillac Jack. So all my shows were pretty close to home, not a lot of driving this weekend, which was nice. So Friday night in LeRoy at Houdinis Spirits, pretty standard show there, I would say. I ended up and went with the JBL for the sound because I didn't really feel like doing all the extra work. But Dave and Lo did play with me. Overall, good show. I wouldn't say anything too exciting happened, but we did play like a lot of originals. I was really pushing the originals, trying to get those kind of more in the flow, and that was great. Trying to get people more excited about original songs, but that's such a hard thing because it's like, you know, you can play a song they've heard a million times and they know the words to, or you can play your own song that they've more than likely never heard before. So it's kind of a hard, because I mean, I probably have 15 covers I could do at any time that would get the room at least looking at me, if not like singing along or dancing. But so to make the choice to do original music instead of picking those is kind of a tough one. But I've been trying to make it more. Recently I found out that you can turn in your set list to your performance rights organization, and you can get paid for performing your original songs. So that's more incentive for me to do it. I have no idea how much, or I don't know whether it's like equivalent to like a Spotify stream, which is like a fraction of a cent, or if it's like any sort of real money. But I'm curious to see, and, if I can actually make a little extra money turning in the set list. It's kind of a weird thing, though, because when you turn in a set list, if it's a place that hasn't been registered with one of the performing rights organizations, they kind of go after them. So you can actually, like, hurt yourself by reporting them that you're performing your music there, because then the pro organization goes after the bar, and the bar a lot of times will, at least in my experience, what happens is the bar will either just not do live music at all anymore, or they'll have to pay an astronomical fee to continue to have live music, or they'll cut the live music down, pay a little bit less. I don't know all the legal stuff about it, but I've definitely heard some pretty terrible horror stories. And then also when one performance rights organization goes after them, then there's 4 or 5, I don't really know how many there are, but there's ASCAP, which is the one I'm a part of, BMI, CSAC, and maybe 1 or 2 other ones, I don't know. But anyway, so each one of those places can go after a bar or a venue for having music, and it's just another way for them to make money, so since I think they kind of lost out a lot when it comes to the CD sales and how that all used to work, this is one of the ways they can really make some money. So they can actually be kind of detrimental to a music scene if they're trying to get bars to pay astronomical amounts of money to have live music. So been very aware of that, but so I'm making sure that the venue has some sort of licensed, or they're registered with the performance rights organization. But anyway, so I've tried that out for the first time, and that gives me a slightly more incentive to do some more original stuff, and maybe to get a few more of my tunes registered with ASCAP. But again, I don't really know how it works yet, so I'm kind of just playing that by ear. But anyway, so played a lot of original music. It's always kind of weird when we do a 3-piece set there, because it's such a small bar, and the JBL I wouldn't say is the most ideal sound setup for a 3-piece, but again, I just kind of wasn't feeling doing all the plugging in a million cables for, getting a pretty similar result. So I ended up and just tried to make it easy on myself, and I think that overall made the show better, because I wasn't so stressed out before. And then we ended up, and I think Dave and Lo played really well that night too. So it was a good night. And then we ended up, and me and Lo grabbed some food after, and then I went to Walmart to grab some stuff I'd been needing to grab, and I probably didn't get home till like 1:30, and then I ate and packed some stuff up and got ready to sleep and all that, and by the time I went to bed, it was probably close to 4, and then I had to get up at like 7:30 for the farmer's market the next day, and it's been cold for being May. I thought when I picked May 11th for the farmer's market that by then it'll definitely be nice out, and it'll be early, which is good. I like to get there on the first half of the farmer's market cycle. I feel like that's the better half because people are still excited about going. But anyway, so didn't get a whole lot of sleep that night. And morning sets are just always hard because your voice just doesn't cooperate. I probably should have tuned a half step down. It probably would have made everything just that much easier, but I decided, it wasn't feeling too terrible, so I wanted to try to keep it consistent, so I stayed in standard, and that made the first half definitely on the rough side. But all it does is it just makes me miss more notes. I don't have as much vocal control, so I just miss more, which I miss a fair amount anyway, but I miss a little bit more in the morning time, trying to wake it up. That second hour always goes a little bit better than the first because I finally start to feel warmed up. And I didn't do foot drums on either night, so it was just Dave doing the percussion. Lo didn't make it that morning because her allergies were super bad, and we both, like I said, didn't really get much sleep, so we got some good reactions from the performance online. A couple people that didn't know who we were asking about us, and so that was nice. They said some nice things. Always good to get some good feedback. But anyway, and it did end up and start raining in that show, but it was like our last song we decided to do right at 11:30. So we made it through the whole beginning part of it just fine, completely dry. And they had a canopy for us that they supplied, so wasn't too worried about our equipment or gear or anything. But anyway, so packed everything up, went home, ate a big meal, kind of took a little nap, probably slept for like an hour and a half, and then had to kind of start getting stuff ready for the next show, which I ended up, it was an 8 to 11 show, but I know that their sound is funny a lot of the time. They have their own gear, which, it sounds in my head like great. So I went early with like the intention of having like extra time to kind of relax before the show, but that didn't at all happen. I got there and their gear was just all sorts of confused. I got a lot of stuff plugged in, and first I had to clear out the stage, which that took like probably a half hour, 45 minutes almost, to get all their stuff off, then get all my stuff on, and then start, actually plugging stuff in. But eventually I got everything kind of plugged in, and I wasn't getting any sound. And I went really early myself. It was just me kind of setting stuff up. But so I ended up and just had to like redo all their cables and stuff from the mixer to the speakers. So I got there at 6:20, and we started at 8, and I had maybe 5 minutes before we started that I could kind of, run to the bathroom and get a little bit of fresh air before we started. So I was pretty stressed out that night, but it was a good show. A lot of good friends and good people were out. It was busy right when I got there at like 6:20, like I said, and it thinned out a little bit. But then me and Dave and Lo all had kind of our different crews come, and they were Good crowd. I mean, it was a lot better in the beginning part. At the end, it was about like by that time, since it was late, it was a different crowd, and they didn't really know who we were or anything like that. So I ended up and did more crowd pleasers for the end of the night. But and I was just like from the little amount of sleep and then setting up stuff, I was just so exhausted. And then I did do foot drums that night, so I was feeling it pretty hard pretty much all night. Dave and Lo held it together pretty good, but I was a little beat down at that point, and I still have not really recovered. I'm just like, I don't know, this week has been a long week. Sunday, I pretty much slept through like most of the day, and then I got up for a few hours to actually try to enjoy it a little bit, but I was pretty much just tired, and I drank so much caffeine last week that like I was really trying to not drink any on Sunday, and I think that just hurt the cause as far as enjoying the day a little bit, because I was just exhausted all day. Got about 3 hours of good hang time with Lo, and then pretty much fell asleep and got up for another couple hours and then went to bed for the night. And I just feel like I haven't really caught up because, Monday morning for work just comes so fast every week after a long weekend like that, because you build it up in your head. You're like, all right, so I'm off. Pretty much I get off on Thursdays, and I'm off Thursday through Sunday. I teach on Thursday, but that's only for a few hours, so it's not anything crazy. So, I still get to sleep in. I have to show up to work, be really focused for like 2.5, 3 hours, and then I get to, leave, which is nice. So I kind of count that as a day off. And then Friday, I get to sleep in, and but usually like right when I get up, I'm starting to prepare for the show that night. And then Saturday with the double show, I had 2 shows to kind of get ready for, and then Sunday just flies, and then you're like back at Monday, and like how did I even get here? I just try to get through the day. I've just been, like I said, just kind of feeling the weekend pretty hard. Just been kind of more on the down end of things for some reason lately. I didn't quite, maybe it's because I didn't quite get to where I wanted to be with any of the shows this last weekend. I just feel like I've been talking a lot about having that energy to be the front man and be the guy that like gets everybody excited. And I mean, I've gotten maybe 70% there on the best of the weekend, but just haven't really made it, and maybe that's why I'm feeling a little more down this week, and just, I don't know, just everything just seems so daunting for some reason. Like I'm always trying to make forward steps, but they're just such baby steps. We get new fans every once in a while, and we get new recordings and new videos, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't feel like any of it's necessary. it pays off in little tiny ways, like I said, the person that said nice things on the internet, but I am 30 years old, and I've been doing this for a long time now, and it's just I go through points of being just super jaded, just thinking that it's never really gonna pan out for me. I'm always just gonna have like a full-time job. Well, I don't really have a full-time job. I have 2 part-time jobs with teaching and working on the floor at Kidder. But and then the music, I guess, would be a 3rd part-time job. But I think a lot about it, like what my goal is, and I think my goal is mainly to not have the day job and just be able to support myself with music and continue to record and release music as much as possible. But I don't know. I just sometimes feel like that's so out of reach from where I'm at, and I feel like I've been working towards this goal for so long. But I try to keep my spirits up, and I just hope that maybe this next weekend I will have all good shows, and they'll start to. I'll at least be in a better mood. I mean, I think performing and, having a lot of fun with that definitely makes this experience of whatever, life is better for sure. I mean, if nothing else, that can be achieved. I can be in a better state of mind and a better place because I'm performing and it goes well. But along with that, comes the other side of it. And I don't really know where I'm going with that. Sometimes it just feels like I'm, I know that the next 10 years is pretty much the most important for my career as a musician. But I just, don't know how to, I've been doing the same thing pretty much for maybe 3 or 4 years. And, I feel like I've made a lot of steps, in the right direction, but it just sometimes feels like the steps aren't big enough. And I know I just got to keep going, keep taking risks, keep trying. But I think part of the thing that comes with that is just being a little jaded sometimes and feeling like I feel right now sometimes. But, I know it'll pass because, last week I didn't feel like this. So I'll just keep at it. I think we're in the studio this next week. I think actually getting some new music recorded and released will definitely put me in a better direction. So that'll be fun. I'm trying to do this song. It's called The Wheel. It's with LeRoy. It's with everybody, but LeRoy, I wrote this song, and I want it to be a duet where it's like a conversation kind of with me and Lo. So it'll be different than what I normally do, and it'll be her first time to kind of sing lead a little bit on one of my recordings, so I feel like that'll be good for her, and it's kind of a cool idea, I feel like, but we'll see how that pans out. It's a simple song, so I'm hoping it won't take too long. At some point, I'd like to, release a new full record, but I just haven't. I think I'm at 4 releases since Designed to Shine. This will be the 5th one once we get it done, and that's, I got the money saved up for this session, which we're looking at around $250 for 4 hours. I don't know how familiar anybody is with recording rates, but so yeah, it's $250, and then that's one of probably 3 it'll take to get the song done, and then I'll have to pay to get it released on all the major platforms and stuff. So, but that'll be exciting. It's definitely something to look forward to and to work towards. This week I'm playing at Friday night. I'm here in town again at a place called Braze in Bloomington, and that's supposed to be an outside show, and it's looking up like it's going to be nice outside, so that'll be good. And then Saturday, I'm up in Ottawa. First time I'm at a place called, I think it's called Court Street Pub. So that'll be, a new adventure. I think it'll just be me and Lo on that one. I think Dave's going to come Friday. But anyway, that's the plan. That's what I'll be talking about next week. And then the recording session on Sunday. So that'll be something new to, like I said, look forward to. Hopefully for anybody that listens to this, and for me to actually have something new accomplished. But anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good rest of your week.